Welcome to the Music City tonight. Nashville, Tennessee hosts Valor Fights. It's Valor Fights 38 at the Nashville Fairgrounds Sports Arena. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Valor Fights. I'm Vince Ferrara, alongside Ben Sargent, active MMA fighter, and the great Casey Oxendon. Boy, what a main event we've got for you. It's a pro bout. It's midget dynamite Cromwell Stewart taking on Sawyer by God Rich. Casey, what do you think of this great matchup?
I think it's tremendous. Of course, Sawyer Rich, never a loss for words. This guy has been talking. He's known to back it up, though. And, man, he's going to need it because Cromwell Stewart is a slam master. Tons of power, and he knows how to put you through the cage. Both of these guys had better become to fight tonight.
Ben, what do you think of this matchup? Pretty interesting.
I got the midget dynamite.
Yeah.
He's ready to bring it. He's more cool, calm, collected. When I interviewed him, I think he's going to enforce his will. I think he's going to get that big slam, and for all the midgets out there, and for Sawyer, I think he cut a lot of weight for this fight. But I mean, he's game. He's a game opponent. So look out for him.
Yeah, and having made that transition to the pro circuit, it should be a lot of fun tonight. That's our main event. We've got a stacked card for you tonight from Nashville, Tennessee. Valor Fights 38 starts next.
Friday, December 2nd, OAB Law presents Valor Fights 39 live from the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. Proceeds benefit the Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee with over 15 action-packed fights featuring Sid Wheeler versus Brendan Allen, plus local favorites Jason King, Stephen Hague, Dre Malley, and lots more. Doors open at 5 and first bout kicks off at 6 p.m. Get your tickets now at KnoxvilleTickets.com and come out Friday, December 2nd as OAB Law presents Valor Fights 39.
This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the OEB blue corner, he weighed in at 135 pounds, holds an undefeated record of 10 wins with 0 losses, and fights out of Sithala Muay Thai in Nashville, Tennessee, Chris Ocon. And his opponent across the cage to my right, fighting out of the Hogs red corner, he weighed in at 135 pounds, holds a record of 9 wins with 1 loss, and fights out of 4th Killer Fight Team in Panama City, Florida, Bret Adams. Your referee when the action begins is Jimmy Neely.
Jimmy Neely, our referee, in this Valor Championship bout for the Bantamweight title. This fight presented by Fracture Fightwear. Chris Ocon, the challenger in the white trunks from Nashville. Bret Adams, the champion, defending his title in the red trunks from Panama City, Florida. 3 3-minute rounds, and we're underway. No touch of gloves, no thanks.
Going out fierce. They are going out fierce. No touch of gloves. Throwing the hammers.
Follows the stare down from last night's weigh-in.
You definitely see the reach advantage for Chris Ocon. And he closes the distance with a takedown. Bret Adams right back to his feet.
Knee stuck by Ocon and separate and back to the middle of the cage.
Nice body shot.
Bret Adams really releases those punches quick. And you see the height and reach advantage for Ocon.
Oh, beautiful. Going to the body there is Chris Ocon. Those hurt so bad.
Bret Adams really doesn't care about the reach, though. I mean, he is throwing bombs and going in there.
Wow. Big knee. Adams coming right back over him.
Again, Adams, like you said, Adams is fearless, even though Ocon very technical here, landing crisp shots.
Head dunk, and then like he was going to go to the body, feinted there, and then went upstairs. Wait, Ocon changing levels, really looks comfortable in there, but Adams is such a bulldog.
I think that Bret Adams realizes that he can't stand back and try to go tit for tat. He's going to have to close the distance, absorb some of that punishment, and keep coming.
Nice body shot from Bret Adams.
Ben, what are you seeing early on? Almost 2 minutes gone by in this first round.
I think Bret Adams is very smart and technical and keeping the pace and going forward. I think that's something to be said about that. And later on in the rounds, it's going to help out if he keeps that pace.
Here we go, looking for the takedown was Bret Adams. Both of these guys showing great takedown defense.
Adams so aggressive. Jab there by Bret. Oh, missed on the looping left. Oh,
nice.
Wow, the skill of Ocon, man.
Yeah. Ocon's picking him apart just a little bit. But
Yes,
he's,
undoubtedly.
Bret Adams is still keeping that pace.
Well, this is the thing. Bret Adams is willing to take the shots, but he knows that he has to be able to close the distance, get into a spot where he is in control. Because Ocon is devastating on the inside with the knees. He's devastating on the outside, picking his shots. And on the ground, he's solid, but it's Bret Adams' best chance at success.
Ocon opens his arms, so let's go. Sticks a jab, and we reach the end of round number 1. Ben, how would you score that first round? Who would you give it to?
I got I'm gonna say by I don't know. It's a split decision. I mean that's even. That's even. But Bret Adams, what he's doing is he's showing off and putting his hands down. I don't like that. He's definitely going to end up getting caught by Ocon.
Casey, would you give that first
Well,
round to?
I've got Ocon taking the round. I think he's doing exactly what he wants to do. He is taking a few shots from Bret Adams, but nothing significant. He's not showing any damage here. And you see these exchanges. Every once in a while, Bret Adams will land, but, I mean, Ocon's a guy that trains with DJ Miller and the Sith Law camp. He's used to taking the abuse and coming back.
And the level changes for Ocon, very impressive in that first round.
Sometimes fighters use that, put their hands down, act like they're not hurt or they're not phased, but they are, and they're just trying to make up for it. And that's how a lot of fighters get caught, man. They show off, laugh, put their hands down.
Second round is underway, no touch of gloves, and it's Adams charging in on Ocon. Bret Adams' title is on the line.
I believe that Ocon is the more smooth of the two fighters. I think Adams may have more strength, but strength does fade throughout the course of a fight. Here we go. Bret Adams looking for a guillotine. I don't think it's deep whatsoever. Bret Adams on his back.
Ocon is out. He goes to the net.
He needs to watch. Ocon looking for that guillotine choke here.
Fans telling him, chanting in knees, knees. Fans are into this tonight here in Nashville. Valor fights in Nashville the first time ever. What a body kick by Ocon.
I see Chris Ocon's really putting Bret Adams in a deep water.
I think Bret Adams is starting to fatigue a little bit here. He's not moving as quickly.
Hands down.
Yeah,
It's a head
just
kick.
like that.
His hands are down. He's going to get caught, man. You watch.
Ocon has such a great understanding of those levels.
Yeah.
Man.
Now just picking the champion to pieces here.
Ocon needs a start low with the kicks, and then out of nowhere go high and finish him with a head kick.
And with that reach he's got, Ocon is able to be very effective in land and then get out.
Absolutely.
Adams tried to spin, but Ocon just watched him.
Bret Adams right down the middle. And just as that happens, Ocon with the takedown. Bret Adams back to the feet, though.
Nice wrestling defense by Bret Adams.
How does it score? I don't know how that scores. It definitely takes energy, more energy out of the fighter that is attacking the takedown. But again, Chris Ocon seems to be the more relaxed of the two fighters throughout the course of the fight.
It may be enough of an influence, even if it's not an official scoring for him. Oh, knees from Ocon.
Deep water. That's what I
Yes.
said at the beginning. It's Ocon's putting him in deep water, man.
Just ravaging the ribs of Bret Adams with those knees.
Oh, Adams.
Sith Law Muay Thai at its best here.
Wow. Adams is wearing down.
Adams looking for the takedown out of desperation. This could be the beginning of the end.
30 seconds left in the second round. The belt of Adams on the line, and now the back taking of the champ.
He's got to sink those legs in. He's got to
This
sink
could
the
be
hooks
it
in.
right here. It looks deep.
He's got to sink those legs in.
Final seconds of the second round. Can Ocon get the finish? 10 seconds left.
He's got to sink his legs in. He's not going to get the finish like that. Position before submission.
Wow.
That was close. That was close, almost on a 10-8 round scale. I definitely have Chris Ocon up 2 rounds to nothing. The champ really has to dig deep here. He needs a finish.
And Ben, would you consider 10-8? I mean, he was pretty dominant.
Yeah, that was a pure dominant performance. He picked him apart. Conditioning has definitely played a factor in this fight.
Bret Adams has not lost since very early in his career. It's been a while, pre-2012, I believe, for Bret Adams. In case you take us through this replay.
Well, here you go. Bret Adams continue to come forward, and we end up with Chris Ocon on top here, in control. But you know, the champion doing what he has to do to get out of harm's way. He's just unable to get on the aggressive side, the offensive side, very much in this fight.
Bret Adams coming in from Florida, the champ. You have Valor Fights, the Bantamweight champ, defending his title against Chris Ocon, who is undefeated and is looking terrific in the start. Oh, a spinning kick to the head.
Precision.
Woo. It's called highlight reel kick right there. Beautiful stuff.
Bret Adams is going to get that highlight knockout in this round, I believe.
Bret Adams is?
I mean, Chris Ocon is, yeah.
Ocon has been so impressive, and he gets the third round off to a spectacular start.
Okay, here we go.
Nice.
Bret Adams with a takedown for the first time. Ocon back up to his feet now. He still has back control, but can he maintain it?
No.
Trying for a takedown is Adams.
Bret Adams having to use a lot of energy here.
Pulling
Ocon looking for the
right
switch.
here.
Yes, Bret Adams looking to ride him back. Unable to do so. He still has the legs of Chris Ocon.
We're in Chris Ocon's hometown of Nashville, Tennessee, and the fans are feeling it. It could be a title win for Chris Ocon, but he's got work to do as we near the midway point in the third and final round, and they separate. Well, yeah,
Exchanging body shots there. Those do not feel good.
Nice takedown defense by Bret Adams.
he keeps coming, though.
Yeah, Bret Adams now seems to have gotten his second win, in control of this round.
Absolutely. He needs to keep his hands
But
up,
he only
though.
has 1 minute 15 seconds to go here. He needs a finish.
Looping left.
Ocon, he looks to be fatiguing pretty hard here. Backing up.
Ocon needs to throw that head kick.
Yeah, Bret Adams with his hands by his waist.
He may not want to give up a takedown opportunity to Adams, right?
Nah.
I don't think it matters at this point. I think that Ocon has this fight unless Bret Adams is able to finish.
Yeah, hands are down for Ocon. He's slowing down. Oh, just what a combo. About 8 punches there landed uncontested by Ocon.
Boom. Boom. Here comes the boom. Here it comes.
Oh, stiff right. Fans can feel it.
There it is.
Chris Ocon could be 15 seconds away from a title win. 10 seconds left. Does Adams have anything in the gas tank? Oh, nice left, a second one.
Bret Adams leaving nothing.
Oh, they punch past the end of the fight.
Where was that head kick? I would have been, if I was this corner, I'd be screaming it.
What a fight.
Definitely Chris Ocon, though.
I definitely give the fight to Chris Ocon. I think Bret Adams may have taken that last round. I think it's going to be a 29-28, but Chris Ocon definitely in control of a majority of this fight.
And Casey, you've seen so many fights here at Valor. you do not see titles changing hands all that often, Ben. Usually the champ is a champ for the reason you don't see titles changing hands that much.
Man, he's
take us to this replay here real quick, Ben.
Nice spinning heel kick right there by Ocon. I wish he'd have thrown that at the end of the fight, but it is what it is.
You were asking for it, yeah.
Yeah, he needs to practice more. It looks like he takes fighters into deep water. You need to capitalize on that with precision striking when you get them tired. But very impressed with his performance, though.
Only 20 years old, 10-0, great camp, and could very well have just won the title. Cage side with Casey Oxendine, Ben Sargent. I am Vince Ferrara. And we've got a title fight that has gone to the judges' scorecards. Well, we've got Chris Ocon in the cage, but Bret Adams is not in the cage. He walked out, Ben. We're searching for the red corner. He's got to be in here for the official introduction, you would think. You don't think he just said, hey, I'm not going to win this, I'm out.
He knows what's good.
No, you got to stand there and take the decision.
I mean, he knows he didn't win his title back.
Do they? I mean, how often do fighters think they won? They're all disappointed when they don't get the call. Even when we see it one way, a lot of fighters, they're always thinking, I won.
Out of 18 fights, I've had one to go to decision, and I knew right away I won. Yeah. Luckily, I've never been to decision other than that. But
wow, could Bret Adams just have bolted intentionally? Chris Ocon puts his hand up, gets a reaction from his hometown of Nashville, and we're only going to have one fighter in the cage for our official decision. Here is Jennifer.
Rounds, we go to your judges' scorecard for decision. Your first judge scores this fight 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27 for your winner and new Valor Bantamweight champion out of the OEB blue corner, Chris Ocon. This battle is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the Hogs red corner, he weighed in at 135 pounds, holds a record of 0 wins with 2 losses, and fights out of Team Chaos in Columbus, Ohio, Donald Hockenberry. And his opponent across the cage to my left, fighting out of the OEB blue corner, he weighed in at 135 pounds, fights out of Knuckle Up Fitness in Atlanta, Georgia, and tonight he is making his professional MMA debut, Cole Ferrell. Your referee when the action begins is Jimmy.
Jimmy Neely, our referee in this bantamweight bout at 135, presented by Coyote Ugly Saloon. Donald Hockenberry in the black trunks, Cole Ferrell in the red trunks. 3 5-minute rounds with the professionals here at Valor Fights 38. We're at the Nashville Fairgrounds Sports Arena. Jimmy Neely says, let's go, touch of gloves, and we're underway. Ferrell open stance, in and out. No one's thrown a punch yet. Fake on the kick by Hockenberry.
Here we go, Hockenberry closing the distance, but it's Cole Ferrell with the underhook. It's going to be very difficult for Hockenberry to complete this takedown.
The longer this fight goes, Casey, who do you give the advantage to? Is it Hockenberry with his life experience, or is it Cole Ferrell?
Well, undoubtedly, one would think it's Cole Ferrell. As I mentioned before, the word is that Donald Hockenberry spent some time behind bars. There's no adrenaline dump like being in there with a room full of killers, if you will. So who knows? Hockenberry on top right now, delivering some pressure here on Cole Ferrell.
We're at Valor Fights 38 in Nashville, our first pro bout tonight. And here in the bantamweight division, Donald Hockenberry and Cole Ferrell.
Hockenberry, yeah, looking for that arm-in guillotine. I don't know how deep it is. Cole Ferrell, he works with a very prestigious camp there at Knuckle Up Fitness. He's seen the guillotine before. Hockenberry needs to watch out so he does not burn up those biceps there attacking this move.
Yeah, and Josh, that could be something to keep an eye on, the cardio aspect of this game, especially for Hockenberry.
That's a great point. You're going to see if Hockenberry has it here in the early goings of this opening round. If you're Cole Ferrell, you're dealing with so much else as he tries to put the hooks in. Cole Ferrell's dealing with this being his first pro fight.
Yeah, now Cole Ferrell has advanced to back position. Hockenberry made a crucial mistake, gave up his back, and now it's Cole Ferrell flattening him out here, landing a few shots.
This is academic at this point now for Ferrell, correct?
Well, one would think, but there are a few things that Donald Hockenberry can do to defend that, but he's been out of the game for a while, so who knows if he will be able to take advantage.
Cole Ferrell started his amateur career in 2011. 5 years under his belt as an amateur, though, even though he's a younger fighter.
So Hockenberry is not defending himself right now. He needs to get moving because if not, he could get stopped right here, even if the shots are not absolutely devastating.
Hockenberry's in trouble.
He's covering up. Jimmy Neely looking on closely.
He may call this.
And
this fight is done.
Cole Ferrell, the winner in our pro Bantamweight bout here at Valor Fights 38. What a win for Cole Ferrell. All of his wins have been in 90 seconds or less. I didn't see the clock. This is very close to another 90-second finish. And Josh, you saw that coming. That was very impressive.
Yeah, you can see what Hockenberry got himself into very early on. Like Casey mentioned, gave up his back, and then Cole Ferrell just started pounding away, and the referee made the decision to call this fight. As you take a look at the replay here, you can see what Ferrell is doing. We talked about Hockenberry giving up his back early, giving up his back in the opening round, and Cole Ferrell just unloaded. Casey talked about these not being devastating shots. These weren't huge, big shots to the back of the head, but they did enough for the referee to step in and say this is the end of this fight.
Yeah, and you were all over it, Josh, because you didn't get the defense. And when you cover up and you don't defend yourself, that especially with the way it started out in Ferrell's direction, you knew it was going to be called. All right, to the cage to announce our winner. Here is Jennifer.
Your referee stops this fight at 2 minutes and 38 seconds into the first round. For your winner by TKO due to strikes, out of the OE corner, Cole Ferrell.
Friday, December 2nd, OAB Law presents Valor Fights 39 live from the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. Proceeds benefit the Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee with over 15 action-packed fights featuring Sid Wheeler versus Brendan Allen, plus local favorites Jason King, Stephen Hague, Dre Malley, and lots more. Doors open at 5 and first bout kicks off at 6 p.m. Get your tickets now at KnoxvilleTickets.com and come out Friday, December 2nd as OAB Law presents Valor Fights 39.
This battle is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the Hog's red corner, he weighed in at 155 pounds, holds an undefeated professional record of 1 win with no losses, and fights out of Upper Cumberland MMA in Cookeville, Tennessee, Sawyer, by God, Rich. And his opponent across the cage to my left, fighting out of the OEB blue corner, he weighed in at 151 pounds, holds a record of 1 win with 1 loss and 1 no contest, and fights out of Nashville MMA in Nashville, Tennessee, Midget Dynamite, Cromwell Stewart. The referee when the action begins is Jeff Mackins.
Jeff Mackins, our referee for this catchweight bout at 150 at Sawyer by God Rich in the black trunks, red and white lettering, and Midget Dynamite, Cromwell Stewart in the black trunks with the orange trim. It is 3 5-minute rounds, pro MMA, catchweight at 150. They touch gloves, and here we go in Nashville.
Here we go, Cromwell right out of the gate. Look for Cromwell to throw big shots and then go low. There he goes.
Yep.
Right on cue.
Far ride.
Casey called him the Slam Master, and he delivers quick.
One thing to note, and you'll recall this, fans, Cromwell Stewart is the veteran of quite possibly one of the longest mixed martial arts events due to fouls. If you'll recall,
Yep.
we were there. It had to be 45 minutes to an hour, possibly 5 or 6 stops for fouls.
Sawyer Rich winning his pro debut over Dalton Fox back at Valor Fights 34. That was quick. He's got a different challenge tonight.
So you've got Sawyer underneath the pressure of Cromwell. He's taking a lot of shots right there. He needs to watch the elbows. He needs to get that guard back. Let go of the neck with his left arm. He'll fall prey to that blind flu choke. We saw one of those earlier tonight.
And Josh, Sawyer, to make this even more memorable for you and everyone else, is going to have to rally here because he's in some trouble.
He's being smothered right now,
Oh.
and he's got to do whatever he can here. You can see he's trying to trap one leg, but he's got to get away from the cage and try to get back to a vertical base. I don't know if he's going to be able to do so.
And not only does he have to get back to a vertical base, he has to get away from the cage because Cromwell is just going to continue to do this. This guy is tremendously conditioned, and he's allowed to rest right here. He's just chilling. He's just putting his weight on Sawyer Rich and draining him right now.
You can see it in the eyes of Sawyer Rich. This is not the way Rich would want to draw up the early goings of this fight.
Cromwell Stewart turned pro back in 2013, a loss to Willie Taylor Jr., then beat Adrian Walker in 2014, and then his last fight was a draw with Kenny Hill at Valor Fights 34, the fight that, Casey, you were referencing earlier.
Undoubtedly. 1-1-1. He's looking to change that tonight with the second victory of his career. And as far as round one appears, it looks like he's well on his way. But when you're talking about Sawyer Rich, you can never guarantee anything. This guy is known to come back from adversity.
Absolutely. We've seen it in numerous fights where he looks like he's on the brink, and the next thing you know, he's finishing a fight.
Yeah.
And that was in the amateur ranks and now looking to do so in the pros as he looks to be behind in the scorecards early on if this round continues as it has been so far.
And again, halfway through the round, but Cromwell Stewart, he is not urgent to do anything. He's taking his time. As long as Jeff Mackins allows him to work, he's going to chill because he is winning decisively right now.
Just the short little elbows in his head smacking the mat.
We've seen the short jabs throughout the past 2 or 3 minutes by Cromwell.
Now, this is something Cromwell needs to take notice that he is in half guard right now. That is a neutral position when it comes to the referee's discretion. He could stand up this fight. So he may need to pick up the pace, but I don't believe he's been warned yet. So it's business as usual right now.
And even though there's not a lot of activity, Jeff Mackins letting them go here.
Oh, big
Until
shots
then.
there by Cromwell.
And that might buy Cromwell some more time.
Well,
Sawyer's corner was telling him to let go of the neck
look out for
earlier.
the Kimura. Here comes the Kimura lock. Big elbows there.
Oh, he's going to get him.
Yep.
Yeah, Sawyer. He's got that arm back
He's gonna
behind
get
his
him.
back. He needs to move.
Sawyer Rich just over the weight. Not much, but just over. And this catchweight bout at 150.
Yeah, an absolutely terrible weight cut by Sawyer Rich. He looked horrible at weigh-ins, eyes sunken in, and it is very, very difficult to come back from that, to rehydrate in that short amount of time.
Yeah, and we've seen him not make weight in amateur fights before as well, so that might still be something he needs to work on and improve, and I'm sure he's trying every time.
Are you guys going to be surprised if Sawyer gets out of this first round?
No.
I think he's going to make it out of the first round. It's will he be able to answer moving into the next round. Now Sawyer back on his feet, looking to land a shot in the closing seconds of round one. Perhaps a moral victory if nothing else.
Sawyer is a survivor. We've seen him on the brink, and he is able, even though he was dominated, able to get to the end of the round. So, Josh, really no question on who gets scored that first round.
I'm shocked that Sawyer made it back to his feet, that he made it to the end of the round, and I'm looking at what we've called so far. I think this is our first fight that's gone past the opening round on the pro side of things.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but it's been quick strikes.
We have seen a lot of quick ones, and boy, but they usually, when we have short fights, they're spectacular in their finishes. And this one goes to the second round.
Sawyer was anything but spectacular in that opening round.
Yeah, although Midget Dynamite was pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
here we go. You saw it. Cromwell Stewart closing the distance. Classic Cromwell Stewart right here. Big shots. He goes low, and boom, frequent flyer miles for Sawyer Rich.
Sawyer Rich. Now, when you're in his corner, what are you telling him, Casey? What do you want him to try to do here?
He's got to get on those wheels. He's got to move about the cage, and he's got to land those strikes. He cannot allow Cromwell to just press him.
And Cromwell Stewart, Midget Dynamite. A nod over to Sawyer Rich. Sawyer's like, yeah, okay. Sawyer Rich is some personality. Jeff Mackins, our referee, says let's start this. Our second round, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds underway. And
Do
this
we
catchweight
have
bout.
a scratch over the left eye of Cromwell Stewart? It looks like some blood.
I didn't see anyone working on him, but let's see. So you know Sawyer Rich is, a kick cut down that lead leg. Is he tapping at it or poking at it a little bit there, Casey? Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is. It may have been incidental. It may have happened closing the distance and getting the takedown. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be causing any problems. Talking about the cut on the left eye of Cromwell Stewart. Here we go.
Looks poised.
Man, those strikes of Cromwell Stewart, especially the kicks, are landing so boldly. You would call it selling in professional wrestling, but here, he's just getting caught off balance and he's dropping to those kicks.
Forced selling. We're going to force you to do what I want to do, and that's what Cromwell Stewart is doing here to Sawyer, by God, Rich.
That's the familiar voice of Josh Matthews, the commentator for TNA, joining us here for our pro bout tonight. This catchweight bout at 150 in Nashville. I'm Vince Ferrell alongside Casey Oxendine, cage side here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Sports Arena. First time ever in Nashville.
And again, my thanks to Valor Fights for this opportunity to be here with you guys live.
Big overhead right by Cromwell. Sawyer closes the distance. It looks like one eye is open, one is shut.
Wow. The one that's open is open wide, but he is taking a beat.
Yeah, it looks like something's wrong with the left eye of Sawyer. I can't really tell.
Yeah, he's opening the right eye more because the left one is closing.
It was sealed shut there for a second.
Yeah.
It could have been that he landed right on the eyeball. You don't think about that. In boxing gloves, that never happened before. These little gloves, you'll actually get right in there and land on the eyeball. I've never felt more excruciating pain than when that happens, and people just don't realize that it can happen.
And what's the results? Are they immediate results? I mean, are you blinded? Do you see a white light?
It all depends on the angle and how it happens. Sometimes, it can end the fight. Sometimes you can get your composure. But, again, it hurts tremendously bad.
Past the midway point in round 2, and Cromwell Stewart once again with a takedown. And that is going to wear on Rich some more. Just Midget Dynamite just looks bigger, more filled out than Sawyer.
Josh, I'm always interested to know, the world of pro wrestling. You've heard the names like Haku and, of course, Andre the Giant, all these guys that were seriously tough, Bruiser Brody. In your estimation, the guys you worked with, who are some of the toughest guys that you believe would have done exceptional in mixed martial arts competition?
Dolph Ziggler comes to mind when you think about someone who could do very well in this world. Lashley from my world, from Impact Wrestling, he's a star in Bellator. He just won his 15th fight. He's 15-2 in his MMA record. Probably one of the most legit dudes on the planet. Just scary strong. Many people want to see him go against that big dude from WWE, whose name I'm not going to say. But I think if they did go one-on-one, Lashley would be victorious. He's that good right now.
And you see Midget Dynamite on top, as he has been for most of this fight.
Yeah, Sawyer, he has to get moving, man. He is moving in slow motion here, and Cromwell is just picking up steam.
Very similar to what we saw in round number 1, only this time Sawyer was giving up his back.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of shots here. He needs to move. Jeff Mackin's a great official. He will step in and preserve the safety and the health of these fighters.
Sawyer Rich had to take a couple of months off after his short pro debut win. His mother got really sick and took some time off to take care of her. He says everything is good now, and he got back on track with his training, but you wonder if that time off had any impact in his preparations for this fight.
You know, everything has impact when it comes to mixed martial arts competition. You know, everything that happens in your life, it affects your mindset, and your mindset, you know, that is the catalyst for everything you do when you get into a fight.
See our beautiful ring girls here tonight in Nashville. Valor Fights 38, first time ever Valor Fights in the mid-state. We're excited to be here and don't think we're not going to continue to grow and bring you amazing cards. Nashville and coming to cities near you as well. That Tim Loy, David Robbins, this is such an unbelievable company. The fighters rave about being a part of Valor Fights. Look at it, Sawyer Rich wants to hug out. And we're underway in round 3.
I love it. Love it. I'm going to get on my phone and follow Sawyer Rich on Twitter right now.
You know, it's very easy for us to get after Sawyer and say, move, 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 get in his face. But until you feel what it's like under the lights in mixed martial arts competition, the way your adrenaline dumps and the way the cortisol affects your arms. I mean, there are times you step into that cage and it feels like your legs are numb. And it takes a little bit of while for your heart to beat and to allow your body to catch up with something like that. And so right now, who knows what Sawyer Rich is feeling?
One of the things that Sawyer Rich said leading up to this fight this week was that he hasn't seen Cromwell Stewart's game evolve at all since 2015, since 2013. Casey, would you agree with that? Do you see a better midget Dynamite?
Well, I think he definitely continues to grow. He's there in Nashville MMA. It doesn't get any better here in Middle Tennessee than that camp. And yes, absolutely. He started as just a Slam Master wrestler. Now he's got some serious heat in those hands.
Josh, do you see a different Sawyer Rich here in this third round?
Well, again, I think it goes back to, well, no, now I don't, because he's down, and he hasn't showed much angst once he's been down. He hasn't showed that he wants to get back to his feet, that he wants to get this thing going again. He seems comfortable in allowing it, and Vince, you mentioned it earlier, that Cromwell Stewart just looks so much bigger. And he just has smothered Sawyer Rich since the opening round, and Sawyer hasn't been able to do anything to stop it. He's avoided the big submission maneuvers.
Cromwell with the big elbows, looking for the Kimura. Just over 3 minutes left in this bout. Look for Cromwell to turn up the heat. I know he wants a finish in this one.
Sawyer Rich's losses in his amateur career, triangle choke and by unanimous decision as well. And he's in trouble here in this third and final round.
Now, if he had the wits about him right now with that left underhook, Sawyer could look to work to the back of Cromwell, but Cromwell just putting too much pressure from top.
And if you're Sawyer, you have to know that you're down 2-0 here, and you got to do everything you can. You don't want it to go to the decision. Easier said than done, though, from cage side, I guess.
Well, and you never know. I mean, it could be survival at this point for Sawyer Rich. And, you know, in Cromwell, you know, he may be okay with that. You know, he knows he's going to get his hand raised if this goes the distance.
Sawyer Rich runs 5 miles every day and said that he felt great coming into this fight physically. Casey, you thought maybe he's a little bit different in the way he looked at the weigh-ins, but participating in MMA since the age of 12 and is in some trouble here with 2 minutes left to go in this fight.
And, you know, it wasn't the same Sawyer Rich. I've never seen Sawyer Rich hug it out in the middle of any fight. It's usually an angry Sawyer. He comes out there talking his talk, doing what he does. He just seemed very flat tonight. Oh, here we go. Cromwell in mount position with 1.5 minutes to go. Can Cromwell Stewart finish this fight? Can Sawyer Rich last?
Sawyer Rich frees up that hand and now has it around the neck of Cromwell Stewart. That looked like it could have been trouble for Sawyer.
Just did nothing offensively in this entire fight.
And you can see Sawyer reaching for the head, pulling him down. That is not a method for reversing this position. That is a method for holding Cromwell in so he doesn't blast from top.
Does Sawyer
very defensive?
Sorry, Casey. Does Sawyer have a submission from the bottom here in this final minute?
Absolutely not. Nothing. He has a bridge, and he can turn his back right here. He's flattened out.
That's it.
This could be the end of the fight.
Yep.
Those are hard shots.
Referee looking on. He's saying
and it's a
done.
done deal. You saw Cromwell look up. A big finish in the closing moments of round 3. Cromwell Stewart, your winner.
Midget Dynamite delivers big. There was nothing small about this victory over a talented fighter in Sawyer by God Rich. 2-1-1. Cromwell Stewart with the win. Nashville's excited. What a performance, Josh.
Yeah, and I think it's great for Cromwell Stewart that he was able to secure the victory the way he wanted. That it didn't come to the judges here at the end of this one. That Cromwell Stewart earned the victory. He was firing away. He looked to the ref and said, you gonna call this or what? And finally, it was called in a victory for Cromwell Stewart. Big win. I still like the name of Sawyer by God Rich. I'm going to continue to call him the Redneck Messiah.
And no doubt about it, it means a lot. Our president, Tim Loy, with a nod of appreciation and respect for Midget Dynamite, Cromwell Stewart, and he got it done tonight. And you mentioned getting the finish. That means a lot when you're trying to make a statement and get bigger, better fights and put yourself in championship situation. When you can finish a guy, especially a talented guy like that, that's different than going to the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, and you can put it on your highlight reel. You can send it to whoever you want to send it to and say, look at this knockout, decisive victory that I earned.
And a lot of eyes on this card here, Valor Fights 38 in Nashville. All right, to announce our winner, back to the cage, here is Jennifer Oxendine.
Minutes and 16 seconds into the third round. For your winner by TKO due to strikes, out of the OEB blue corner, Midget Dynamite, Cromwell Stewart.